All right.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people didn't know what to expect out of this team. I think the thing that jumped out was defensively, you were blocking shots. There were lots of steals. Is that just a product of just more length and athleticism on this team?
Yeah, that's a product of us just taking pride in the defensive end. I mean, it's something that we want to make sure we're taking steps in this year, and you saw the first step of that tonight.
Brian D.
Theo, you looked really dominant and really under control in tonight's game. Where do you feel like you've taken steps forward from last year to this year?
that's a lot of my confidence. I have 2 good hands now this year, not playing through any injuries, so I'm able to just play free, play through, and just kind of play through others and help others when they're out there. So,
Matt from The Wire.
Hey, Theo. Obviously, down low, you got a new teammate in Dawson Garcia who certainly looked ready for his collegiate debut tonight. What does he bring to your team, and how did you enjoy kind of playing alongside him tonight?
let me tell you something. That boy bucket, all right? He proved himself tonight, and I'm excited to see what he do future self. So it's going to be fun to watch him.
We'll go back to Ben.
Yeah, Theo, I think the ball movement also really stood out tonight, especially among the big guys like you and Dawson and Justin too. Is that something that's developed over the preseason, or how is that added into the offense this year?
We got a group of unselfish guys. We all want to see each other eat, and like I said, everybody on the floor can score the ball. So we just sharing the balls, and whoever's turn it is to go get theirs. It is what it is.
Back to Brian with ESPN Milwaukee.
Theo, I'm curious, what's more fun for you? Is it swatting somebody like you did several times tonight, or is it a tip slam like you had on Jamal's miss early in the second half there? What's more fun for you?
Wait, what was the second part?
Is it swatting somebody? You had a bunch of blocks tonight, or is it getting the tip slam off of Jamal's miss early in the second half? I'm just curious, what's more fun for you?
I love blocking shots. That's what I do. That's what I pride myself in. And tip don't great, but just blocking shots, that's my favorite thing.
Matt from the Wire.
I'm curious, you guys had, obviously this is the first game of the year, you want to get the team acclimated, but you had 10 different guys score tonight. As kind of a senior leader on this team, how do you feel about the depth you guys have and the ability to have a lot of different guys contribute, whether they're starting or coming off the bench?
Yeah, top to bottom, our roster is filled with guys that can put the ball in the hole and play defense at a high level. So I'm excited to see each and every night whose night it is. And, as a team, we're excited to feed off each other with that. So it's going to be a fun year.
Ben Steele.
Theo, you've been here 4 years. You played, in that building when there's 17,000 people in there. What was it like playing in front of no fans this time?
When you're playing, you just got to get lost in the game. Oftentimes when there is all those fans going crazy, you use that to feed off, and it helps elevate your play. Now, during these COVID times, these different times, you just got to feed off each other's energy and feed off the energy of the bench. And make sure when you're on the bench, you're giving the guys out there energy. So, it's a different feel, but it's almost like AAU, bring me back to my young days.
Yeah, thanks, Theo.
I appreciate you.
I'm not much of a fashion guy, if you guys haven't noticed, but
I hadn't noticed, no.
This is pretty comfortable. I could get used to this. So in every crisis, there's opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and fire away.
Yeah, I thought the defense was pretty exceptional tonight. Guys were jumping in the passing lanes. Theo was blocking shots. People didn't know what to make of this team, but did you see that kind of defensive effort coming?
Yeah, I thought in the first half we did a pretty good job on the defensive end. I thought our guys played with really good effort. We have some athleticism, versatility, and then We have good size, and we're not where we're going to be defensively, but we have the makeup to be a team that should have some defensive strengths.
Brian from ESPN Milwaukee.
So, Coach, first things first, Jay Wright was not rocking a suit either tonight. So if that makes you feel any better about yourself, just take that to heart. Theo looked really good and really dominant tonight. Where do you feel like he's improved the most from his junior year to his senior year?
Well, number one, he's healthy, and we didn't make a big deal of it last year, and neither did Theo, but he played hurt all of last year. And so he didn't get to show some of the areas that he improved, but he certainly has improved a lot. He's a senior, and hopefully he's saving his best for last, but really his total game has evolved and improved, and we're going to need him to be very consistent for this group as we continue to grow and get better.
We'll go to Matt with the Marquette Wire.
Hey, Coach. Dawson Garcia made his collegiate debut tonight. Clearly looked like he's ready to play at a high level in college. Can you just kind of speak on what he brings to your team and specifically about his shooting ability? Because that's not something you've had in a big in the last few years.
I think Dawson is a really good basketball player. He's not a guy that I would define by a position. I mean, obviously he's got great size, but he can do a lot of different things on the court. His passing tonight, I thought, was exceptional, and he's a very good passer. But he can also attack close to the basket and facing the basket, and that versatility offensively is something that our team's going to need.
Back to Ben.
The ball movement, the ball seemed to be popping around a lot. Was that just a product of, having pass first guys like DJ and Cy playing a lot of minutes?
Yeah, we had 20 assists on 29 made field goals. And I thought our guys played with really good unselfishness. And, one of the things that this group should do is we should have a lot of offensive balance where on a given night, many different guys can be the leading scorer. And we just got to make sure that that ball is finding the best shot that we can get each time down. And depending on who is the recipient of that guy could be our leading scorer on one night, and the next night it could be a different guy. But I like the fact that we had 6 guys in double figures. I like the fact that we shared the ball and had 20 assists on 29 made field goals. And I like the fact that we put pressure on the paint, which allowed us to shoot a lot of free throws.
And you guys, you played those 10 guys a lot. Is that just a product of being this early in the season, or do you expect to play that many guys?
Well, my guys have been through a lot, like we all have over the last several months. And, to be back out on the court playing basketball, I wanted to give everybody a chance to get out there and let go of all the angst that has been stored over the last number of months. I'm not sure we're going to play 10 guys in every game. Now there may be some we do, but there's going to be other games we don't. And it depends on the situation.
Brian with ESPN Milwaukee.
Coach, I'm curious how the in-game atmosphere compared to kind of what you anticipated and thought it would be going in.
Well, number one, it wasn't like it normally is. We certainly missed our fans. They've been so supportive of our guys and in the program. We missed them not being there. But the reality is the game's won in between the lines. And so regardless of the atmosphere, the guys who are inside the lines are going to dictate what happens. And really those are the only things we can control. The reality is we're probably not going to have fans for a long time. And so whether we like it or not, whether it's our preference, we have to show up, lace them up, and compete to win.
Matt from the Wire.
Coach, you got a lot of new faces this year, obviously with transfers and first years. but you still have that trio of upperclassmen with Jamal, Theo, and Kobe. How much are you going to rely on those three, both on the court in terms of leading the way on the court and vocal leadership off the court this season?
You know, those three guys and their consistency may be the biggest key to our season, because with the new faces and the young guys that we have who can be really, really good players, they need somebody on a daily basis where you know what to expect all the time. And the best seniors that I've been around, you know what to expect from them in a practice, in a shoot around, in a walkthrough, in a game. You can count on them and you can depend on them. And we need that while these other guys are learning and growing into closer to who they should be. Those guys need to be steady as it comes.
One last question from Ben Steele.
Speaking of the young guys, you talked about Dawson already, but, Justin had some, flash that rebounding ability. He also had those 3 fouls in the first half. You saw the Oso's length pay some dividends for him. What'd you think of those two guys?
I thought they did really well. I mean, for their first college game, I thought all three of our freshmen did a really nice job. I think Justin Lewis, like Dawson, has a chance to be an outstanding player. He's got a nose for the ball. He's going to be, he can do a lot of different things on the floor. And so he's got a chance to be really good. And, Osa is as good a learner as we have. I think he's just going to keep getting better and better. And he's like a sponge. And I really appreciate that about him.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Be safe. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.